In the Verbringen of Simchas Beis HaSheva, Tovshin Chov Beis, the Rebbe spoke about the Inyan that when you do an Aveda that's higher than Bedides Vagbolas, that you go out of your limitations, the person himself cannot feel that that's higher than Hagbolas. Because the moment you start feeling that it's higher than Hagbolas, that itself is Hagbolah. But nevertheless, other people can see if you are doing something higher than your Hagbolas. And then the Rebbe told a story. And I remember when the Rebbe told the story, he was smiling when he said the story. Story that the Frierdiker Rebbe said concerning the first time he went to Germany. So this was already at a time when the union of Chassidus and learning Chassidus already reached to Germany. And there were certain people there who already knew about Chassidus, knew Chassidus, and also knew about his boneness in davening, and especially when you say Shema Yisrael and Baruch Shem. So there are certain people already in Germany who started behaving that way. So the Frierdiker Rebbe met a Yid there, and the Frierdiker Rebbe mentioned his name, that he was friendly with him, and the person told him that he learned Chassidus, Svarim, or the Kontreis, and whatever, and it even was a limud amevi l'demaisa, it actually paled on him, it influenced him in his action. And he says to prove it, he started telling the Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, that aviv vaitzim der gang, and how far this reached, it influenced in him, the fact of learning Chassidus, that he learned Chassidus, that you have to be Ma'irich be'echot, piz mesiras nefesh. When it comes to saying Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, you have to be Ma'irich, you have to say it long, till mesiras nefesh. So he said, and therefore when he gets to Krishma, saying Echot takes him fasta eine minute, which means he takes him almost 1 minute. And they have explained, how long does it take to say the word Echot? There's a limit to it. It takes a few seconds. But since he learned Chassidus, and it helped him, it influenced him in his Aveda in davening till to Krishma. So by him, it takes longer. Taka doesn't take a minute, a little bit less than a minute, but still it goes more than the normal limitations. But the Rebbe said that if a person is Ma'irich in Echad and he's able to measure it with a clock, with a watch, that's not called going ad mesiras nefesh beyond Hagbolas, because if you feel it. Somebody else could see that you're going beyond Hagbolas. But if you start feeling yourself that you're going beyond Hagbolas, then it's not really beyond Hagbolas. And when the Rebbe told the story, he was smiling. And then the Rebbe explained it, that the Frierdiker Rebbe says, Benegei Gaive, which is the mocker of all the bad midas, is similar to a sickness in the body. One of the things that a person is sick is if a person starts feeling his heart, starts feeling his hand, starts feeling his head, starts feeling his foot or any other aver, that shows that there's something wrong about it. Because normally you don't feel it. And if you start feeling it, that means there is something not healthy about it. And the same thing is concerning Gaive. If you start feeling yourself, that there is something wrong. And the same thing here, if you start feeling that you're going beyond Hagbolas, there is something wrong. It's not really beyond Hagbolas. But somebody else could see. Somebody else could see how long you say Shema. Echad. But if you start feeling yourself, then it's not really going beyond Hagbolas. And it's interesting that this word that the Rebbe said in the name of the Frierdiker Rebbe, that if you start feeling your aver, that's a simon of not being healthy. So when the Rebbe was Magia, and I mentioned this once before, when the Rebbe was Magia, a Sicha for Parsha Vayishlach, which was later printed in Chelik Yud, and there it said that word, that if you start feeling a part of your body, that's a simon that there is something wrong with it, it's sick. So I remember we were thinking when we wrote it, how to express it, or where do we have a raya to it? So when the Rebbe was Magia, he added the ha'ora saying, Lahoyer meloshin ha'kosuv, from a posik in Melochim Beis, Dalet Yutes, where the posik says, Reishi Reishi. That's the story with the Ben Hashonamis, that she had a brocha, the Shonamis had a brocha from Elisha, that she should have a child. And then it says that when she had the child, he was once in the field, and he started saying, my head, Reishi Reishi, and which meant his head hurts him. And then the story continues what Elisha was Machayim Mesim, but it doesn't say he said, my head hurts me. My head. So the Rebbe is bringing from here at Ayat that the fact that you feel your head, you know you have a head, you feel it, you have a head, that's already a sickness. That's the concept of a headache. A headache means you feel your head. And here the Rebbe says the same thing. But here he connected it to this story with this German Jew who said that he says, Echod, feist eine Minute, almost 1 minute.